Hey everybody, Tony D and Little Joan here with a hot take, final hot take of the evening before you go off and do your New Year's Eve celebration. Just another couple of glimpses into the future here. Biden Pentagon nominee, a Steele dossier truther who promoted foreign disinformation. This is from the Federalist. President-elect Joe Biden's pick for defense policy, Colin Kahl, has a long history of perpetuating Russian disinformation, according to the Federalist. On Wednesday, Biden made the announcement that Kahl will be joining the administration after serving as a deputy assistant to President Barack Obama's national security advisor to President Biden from 2014 to 2017. Kahl is currently the co-director at the Stanford Center for International Security and Cooperation and strategic advisor at the Penn Biden Center. I know how hard the professionals in policy work every day to keep America safe, Kahl wrote on a Twitter in response to the appointment. I would be honored to lead this great organization. Sure you would. Swamp creature, as I will call you. These are the same people. Same people with the same failed foreign policies. I wonder what his feelings were on the NATO invasion of Libya. I wonder if he was a big proponent of that. I'm sure these guys will be leading the next great war against any country but China. And meanwhile, another article from the Federalist, NBC spreads pro-Wuhan anti-American propaganda to swipe at Trump. I'm sure, those Biden appointees will have nothing to say about this. NBC News celebrated China's triumphant successes Wednesday in apparently controlling the novel Wuhan coronavirus, relying on Chinese figures to tell a story while griping over the American response. 1 year since coronavirus emerged in Wuhan, America's living there look home. I would be very afraid if I were living in the States. This is where we are, people. And NBC News just runs this. This piece reads as an explicit Chinese propaganda. Begins by featuring the fears of a Louisiana native living in Wuhan, the city of the first outbreak that gave the Wuhan virus its name, who told NBC's two overseas-based reporters that living in the United States appears more terrifying than living in the dystopian-like Hubei province. Wuhan, said Benjamin Wilson, is one of the safest places in the world. Yeah, I guess if you're a guest and they're not going to kill you or harvest your organs or make you work, I guess it's pretty safe for you. I don't know if it's so safe to be a Uyghur Muslim in China. I kind of think it's not safe. I kind of think it's not safe to be a citizen of China. The report outlines China's response, praising its numbers released by the Chinese Communist Party while taking every opportunity to admonish President Trump in what's become routine for corporate media. China funneled national resources, this is a quote, China funneled national resources and expertise into the city, mobilizing nearly 43,000 medical staff from January to March, according to the state-owned Global Times, in the country's largest medical support operation since 1949, NBC reported. Trump, meanwhile, held mass-free gatherings, appeared to promote unproven virus treatments, and later tested positive himself. Yeah, I guess if you believe the CCP. NBC continued, Trump has maintained that he took early steps to stem the spread of the virus, including barring entry into some foreigners among those traveling from China. Despite this, America remains out front with both the highest number of coronavirus cases and deaths on the planet. If you accept the Chinese Communist Party's numbers, which suddenly just ended. I remember during early in the pandemic, I would go to the Johns Hopkins website, and I think the Chinese numbers got to about 83,000 and just stopped. That's when China announced, oh, we got it. All done. I mean, they just grinded to a halt right there. And that was it. China wouldn't report anything else. It's bull. It's bull. It's bull for a number of reasons. Number one, they didn't have enough tests to test all the people who got it in China. Number two, even if they did, they would have never reported the numbers. And number three, they lie to the Communist Party of China. Anyone who would believe those numbers, you would have to be out of your mind. And yet, they got repeated everywhere, including on the Johns Hopkins website. They didn't put an asterisk, they just stopped the numbers. They just stopped updating the numbers. And here you got NBC. And according to the article, the network offered only scant skepticism of China's reporting while relying on China, a Communist Party reported data to amplify its narrative. It's sick. It's sick. This never would have happened back in the day. Not in a million years. My God. I can't even imagine this happening in the 80s. People would have been... That would have been it. That would have been it for NBC. They would have been out of business in a week. In China, quote, in China overall, a country of some 1.4 billion people, the government says the virus has killed over 4,600 people, the majority in Wuhan. Although experts say the statistics should be treated with cautions, the reporters wrote. Come on. That's all you had to say about it? With caution? Oh, yeah, that might be a little low. 1.4 billion people. It's a disgrace. I don't know. Is NBC owned partially by China or some Chinese conglomerate that has sway over these people? What happened? What happened? And how is Beijing Biden going to react to this? They're going to love him, right? Because they own him. They own Biden. So NBC is going to say nothing but glowing praise for wonderful Biden. It's a win-win for him, right? He gets to run the country. The media is always on his side. And he gets to collect a big fat bribe to China. All he has to do is sell out his country. Just sell us down the river, Joe. That's what you're good at, right? Just sell everybody out. Who cares? You'll be rich, right? You'll be rich and dead. You'll be long dead before the Chinese finally take us completely over. Oh, you and your family can enjoy the money. Maybe not your grandkids. Although, maybe the Chinese will give them some kind of, province appointmentship, I'm sure they'll be loved just as much as you are, right? Because there'll probably still be elections. I'm talking like 20, 30 years from now, right? But you'll be in the cold, cold grave. Not remembering anything. Kind of like you're doing now, only less cold, I guess. Reading stuff like this, this is the next few years. This is the next few years. The thing we have to stop. The spread of Chinese propaganda and everything, really. I don't know how we're going to do it. I honestly don't. I'll make my videos. I'll write my books, I suppose. And I'll pet my dog. Hopefully that'll help. We got to turn the tide. And first we got to clean up shop in our own home, You got to get people on board here. We don't even have 100% of the population here waking up to China yet. That's number one. We have to recapture the educational system. It's not going to be easy, but it has to be done.